little boy, you know, he had no father, he had only one mother, and these. He must have been very, very sad. So the sages turned around and gave him confidential instructions. These confidential instructions appear again in the Bhagavad Gita. There's a verse in the Gita that you must approach a spiritual master and listen from him, and what else? Serve them and inquire. Yeah, inquire. You must surrender to them, serve them, and inquire. And if you do that, if you do this to a spiritual master, then you will get confidential knowledge. Do you know what that confidential knowledge is? It refers to seeing Krishna everywhere. By that confidential knowledge, I could understand clearly, says Narada, the influence of the energy of Lord Krishna, the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of everything. By knowing that, one can return to him and personally meet him. One can meet Krishna if one understands everything here is the energy of Krishna. Everything, I'm never separated from Krishna. I'm always in the hands of Krishna. You know, last year I suffered 4 months, 4 or 5 months, incredible pain. It was a nerve-related disease called shingles. Every second man gets it in my age, but they get it only a little bit. I had it on 9 nerve strengths, and that was the world record. It is so painful that you can just lie there and cry. It is just so painful. You cannot sleep I could not sleep for 3 weeks, but some have it so bad that they cannot sleep even for longer. And at that time, I had to really struggle to keep up my spiritual practices because the pain was so much. And chanting was not a problem. I liked to chant, and I chanted extra because I couldn't render any other service to Krishna. But reading and just the normal things, you know, just to go to and take a shower was like climbing Mount Everest, so difficult. And at that time, I was remembering this, what Narada Muni says, the confidential instructions. That is, you see Krishna everywhere. By this instruction, you are able to meet him. You actually become Krishna conscious. It's a and I remembered, you may laugh, but what can I do? I'm a simple man. I remembered my grandma. When my grandma died, I asked her a question. Grandma, how is it to die? What is the feeling? What is the experience? Are you afraid? Or tell me, I like to know. Grandma knew I was always very curious about everything in life, and the grandmother said, you know, it's not different. When I'm living, I'm in the left hand of God, and when I'm dying, I am in the right hand of God. It's not different. What is the difference between the left hand and the right hand of God? Wow, I said. You are one of my Shiksha gurus. What is that? She was a Christian, she didn't know these subtleties. Confidential instructions. Krishna is behind the good things and the so-called bad things. Krishna is everywhere. And as a result, you get a certain realization that is whatever you do it for Krishna's pleasure. Narada Muni says here, you know, we all have to act and do something in this world. So if you understand Krishna is everywhere, you just don't do it for yourself any longer. You try to offer it to Krishna. He says, thus when all a man's activities are dedicated to the service of the Lord, those very activities which previously caused his perpetual bondage become the destroyer of the tree of work. Maybe that's a little bit poetically in the morning, it's a maybe difficult word. What he says, normally activities bind you and bring karmic results. But if you do that for Krishna's pleasure, you become free of bondage, of karma. Prabhupada comments here. I think this is very important to know. Krishna is everywhere, and this means you can serve Krishna with everything you do, and you can connect everything with you, which you do, with Krishna's pleasure. This is very good instruction. You should see that he's everywhere. It means also you should watch your activities and not make politics for it. I don't know, I don't like politics. I always give the same example. You must be getting bored of me. You do things properly in connection with Krishna. Prabhupada says the conclusion is that when the results of all fruitive and other work is dovetailed with the service of the Lord, it will cease to generate further karma and will gradually develop into transcendental devotional service. So you start, you're a simple person, you have to work. So you take that work and you give some of the fruits to Krishna, like some of you do. Some of you support my preaching with some of the fruits of your work. You directly work for Krishna. You arrange an event like Gopunim is coming in. I know in Berlin many devotees are thinking how to make this a very great occasion for bringing all the Vaishnavas together and pleasing and serving them. And this will gradually develop into transcendental devotional service. That means you will be able to, by this, participate in the Ashtakaliya Leela. It's a high concept. Those who know, know. You will be able to do some service which is no longer dependent on your body and your mind, but which is on the spiritual level. By this you will not only cut the root of the banyan tree of work. You know, the banyan tree of work means this material world. It's an analogy, it's like a tree, you will cut it, but this will carry the performer to the lotus feet of the Lord, Krishna. Later Narada Muni remembered these confidential instructions in his work, the Narada Bhakti Sutras. There he gave a definition of bhakti. Would you like to hear his definition? Yes. This makes use of this earlier instruction from these great souls who are sometimes called the Bhaktivedanta. He says, Narastu tat apita kila charata tat vismarane parama yaku lateti. Krishna, Narada. He says, Narada, however, says, bhakti means offering offering one's every act to the Supreme Lord and feeling extreme distress in forgetting Him. This is Narada Muni's definition of bhakti. All what you do that for Krishna. And you feel extremely distressed when you forget Him and get into material consciousness. My dear devotees, dear disciples, dear skeptics, this is also what I want to tell you in my role. Why do you not remember Krishna? And remember that what you do on a daily basis, Krishna is just next to you. He's waiting for you actually to turn to Him by bhakti or devotion service. That is what you, and you can do everything you do like this. I remember this year I heard from someone who went in Vrindavan to you know, deity wallet, they call it, they make deities and they also supply the deity paraphernalia. That he was waiting for some turban or something at the deity wallet shop, and it was not ready, it was just being made ready. And he saw these many Brijvasis coming in. Brijvasis like to worship Krishna in the mood of a little child who needs to be taken care. So these Brijvasis came with their little Gopal deity, Lal Gopal. You have seen this deity. One after the other, few apparently came. And the deity wala people have learned from mundane business people that they should offer their customers something, then the customers buy more. So the deity wala gave these people some freshly pressed orange juice. And you know what do these devotees do? They get this cup of freshly pressed orange juice, then they got their Ladu Gopal deity out, they put the orange juice before him, drink, and he drank a little, and then they ate. This means offering, this means offering your act to Krishna. Be mindful of Krishna in your life. This is what I really want to tell you. It is so nice. Even when you are sick, you can feel, now I'm in the left hand or right hand as you want of the Lord. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Das Ende von ihm. Hare Krishna. I'm so enthusiastic. I don't know if you can see it, but I don't know. You have such good association somehow. Good. Now I would like to, after giving something like a Shastric basis, which I feel is always important for us, I wanted to say that I was thinking this morning, what can I tell to my disciples? What would they like to hear from me? I know what they don't like to hear from me. What would they like to hear from me? And I was isolating two things. This is especially important for those who are a little older. They find a need to live Krishna consciousness in an authentic way. With this, authenticity means I want to be real in what I do. I can see if wenn ich mir was aufsetze, or if I just put something on, try to put something on me, which doesn't really fit my nature, I just won't do it. it's like, having, if it rains, and I put this on my head, and it really doesn't fit, I won't wear it for long. That's all right. I want to have something which fits me, which suits my purpose, which is connecting with my nature. And I also want to live Krishna consciousness in an authentic way. I want to find my own path. It should be real for me. I'm tired of pretending to be someone I'm not, and it does not work for me. This is something I would like to address. And then I think a second need, which disciples have at this time in their life, is to know how we are connected. What is our relationship really? Especially Western devotees with Western minds have this need to know. Now Sachidananda Swami is traveling all over the world, Australia, India, New York, and rarely he's not in Germany. If he is, he develops some program which I don't know anything about, Vedic Way he calls it, and so on. And I'm here in South Bavaria, in a little village. What is the connection I have to this person? That is another need, to find that out. So I would like to first speak on the first point, the need to live Krishna consciousness in an authentic way. And I wanted to read to you something which I have never